where you belong. Give you strength to carry on. Open your heart, set your mind at ease. Live your life and you'll be free. We're gonna rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising, rise, rise, rise. Keep on rising,
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Toon review for tonight's, well, I guess it's a little bit of a review plus a preview. So a 2-in-1 show tonight. My name is Paul. I am joined by Alex and, I'm not sure what that is on the bottom, but it's scaring the shit out of me. Of course, it's Billy Bob. Welcome, everybody. As usual, if you do enjoy tonight's show, hit that thumbs up. And if you are new to the channel and you like what you see, please do hit that subscribe button. We are now on the way to 34,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody, for recently subscribing. The channel continues to grow like an oak tree, Billy, like a big oak tree.
Indeed.
Yes. So if you want to support the channel, you can do in two ways. First of all, by membership, which is the join button just underneath the three of us. And of course, the usual super chats are available, the $ at the bottom of the live comments, and that will guarantee your comment to be read out on the show. But the first thing we need to do tonight, guys, is put the poll up for viewers' man of the match.
Wow.
We may as well get straight into, well, it's player of the match nowadays, isn't it? So, Billy, we'll ask you first. Who's your man of the match, or who would you like to put in for the viewers?
I'm going to go with Sandro Tonali.
Tonali, okay. Alex?
Emil Crafinho, Brazilian right back.
Yeah, had a very good game. I am going to go for Lewis Hall, who I thought was absolutely outstanding. And now we have to agree on a fourth, guys.
How about the fella that stood next to him for the game? Centre half, that we never see it at centre half.
Oh, would that happen to be Lloyd Kelly, Billy Bob?
Yes, I think we have to have him on the equation, don't we?
Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Oops. What the hell?
It's going to be a hard poll, this one, because...
Well, you know all about hard polls, Billy. It's to
predict.
Right. That is it. It is up now, guys. Pick your man or player of the match. It's Tonali, Kraft, Hall, or Kelly. We'll revisit that once we finish the player ratings for the game yesterday. Billy, what impressed you most about the victory yesterday?
Oh, it was the attitude of the players. As I wanted before the game, I said we have to be at them from minute one. We have to get the crowd going. We did that. Mm-hmm. It was just the attitude of the players, be in their faces and just take everything in their stride. And they were outstanding from minute one to minute 90. Defended well, attacked well. I was really, really impressed with it all.
Mm. Alex?
I'm going to say the manager. I loved the variation and changing it up and in the in-game management. Joelinton on the left wing more often than not, the personnel changes, the willingness to adapt mid-game, Mudryk becoming a problem in the second half. Eddie switched Joelinton to go and help with right-sided cover. He was identifying and solving problems in real time with a lot of differences to how we've been playing in the league. Refreshing, absolutely refreshing. It was wonderful.
Do you know what impressed me the most, guys? And Billy, we said it throughout the commentary, was the intensity, the press. More than especially first half, obviously when we were playing really well in the first half. Second half, as I think Billy, you said just after kickoff that we'd expect Chelsea to come out like they did. They must have got a rocket up their arse because they were pretty dreadful first half, but we made them look like that. And I think, Alex, seeing that intensity from certain players as well, I think might just put a few thoughts in Eddie's mind for the Arsenal game. It has to.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to play devil's advocate, I hope we don't get too carried away with this, because there was an awful lot wrong with that Chelsea performance. The build up from them was equally as bad as our press was good. They were nervous. Potentially, Billy mentioned Joelinton probably hasn't played in an atmosphere as terrifying as St James's Park in that kind of condition under the lights, and I would agree. Yeah. They really struggled. And likewise, they were very poor in their press. First half, they just let us do what we wanted. Tonali had so much time and space. They all did. So it's unfortunately a lot of these lessons aren't going to be able to be applied to the Arsenal game, because Arsenal will not give us that kind of match. It will be a lot better and a lot more tactically sound and hardworking from them. Yeah. However, yes, ferocious and very good from us. We can only do what we can only play against who's in front of us, and they did execute the plan perfectly. So it was very good.
And I think, Billy, that was the good thing to see, wasn't it? The fact that they executed the game plan. And so many times we haven't seen that this season, where they've gone out on the pitch and the game plan has just sort of fallen off a tree, if you like. But yesterday, even in the second half, when Chelsea had a lot of the ball, Nick Pope didn't make any real urgent, brilliant reflex saves. We defended well as well.
Yeah, we restricted them mainly to long shots, didn't we? Apart from one error from Dan Burn, which got João Felix through on goal. I thought we defended really well, regimented shape, very, very disciplined. I really enjoyed the second half performance. Never looked like scoring for me, apart from that one chance, I say.
Yeah. Now, we'll go on to the player ratings now, and then we'll get these done. We'll get the viewers' man of the match, and then we'll move on to Arsenal, because it's going to be one hell of a game at lunchtime on Saturday. But we'll go through the player ratings. We'll start off with Nick Pope, Alex.
Yeah, he was largely okay. They were peppering him with long-distance shots from 25 yards, or maybe just outside the box, and that is Nick Pope's bread and butter. He's pretty good at that. Yeah. And they didn't overly press us either. It was a good game for Nick Pope. It's his kind of game, really. So I'll go with an 8. But they definitely made it comfortable for him by playing to his strengths.
Okay, Billy.
I'll give him a 7.5. Again, the punching stuff was a bit dodgy. And his distribution was absolutely awful, but his actual saving and diving to his right on his supposedly weak shoulder, yeah, he was pretty confident at all that stuff. So I'll give him a 7.5.
Geordie Newcastle says Cundy thought Pope was atrocious. I don't give a shit what Cundy says, to be honest. I never ever pay any attention to Jason Cundy.
He kept a clean sheet against £300 million offensive line, so Cundy can get back in his box. So.
Yeah, he can. Of course he can. I've given him a 7. Again, I thought he was sound. I just think sometimes his punching just worries me a little bit, but his distribution still. I mean, he's never going to improve on that now at his age, is he? Let's be realistic about that. He is what he is, Nick Pope. As long as he keeps the ball out the net, I don't really care. Right, Emil Kraft, Billy.
10 out of 10. I thought it was outstanding.
10?
Yeah, despite him not having the pace to keep up with Madrid, didn't matter. He kind of read the game perfectly, got a foot in here and there whenever he had to. Then went into a back three and was outstanding there too. And indeed, was instrumental in creating a fantastic chance for us. Yeah, has to be a 10.
Yeah, I've given him a 10 as well. I thought, you know what it is? I think he's given himself a real shout at playing on Saturday against Arsenal. Every time he's come in, listen, we know what his restrictions are with Emil Kraft, but one thing he does is he just plays the game professionally, does his job and gets on with it. And then that little run he went on in the second half yesterday was fantastic. It really was. So it just proves he's got a bit of skill about him as well. But he was solid as a rock for me yesterday. So 10 as well. Alex?
Yeah, I agree. I don't see how I can't give him a 10. Just really solid defensively, physically, setting up attacking opportunities, playing multiple positions. The positioning was so good as well. The timing of tackles against people quicker than him. It was experience. It was refined. He's learned so much since Eddie Howe's been at this club. It's unreal. Like the difference in quality and just decision making from Emil Kraft from 3 years ago. I would probably say, and this is a big shout because obviously we've had the transformation of Joelinton and others. Kraft's I think is the biggest because Emil Krafth for me was absolutely useless as a right back before Eddie Howe joined us. He was the most incompetent player I've ever seen at right back. And now he puts in shifts like that when we play him. So fantastic.
Right, Lewis Hall. I've given him a 10. I thought he was outstanding again, Lewis Hall. This kid is going to be an absolute star for Newcastle United. And even the Chelsea fans were upset with him over the goal celebration last night and things like that, saying he's dead to us now and all of this. But I think the two fullbacks were just absolutely superb last night. And Lewis Hall is just going to get better and better and better. Alex?
I will go with... I'll go with an 8.5. Yeah, I thought he was really, really good. Solid defensively, offensively, mature, still only 20 years old and 2 games on the trot. He's been one of the most mature heads on the pitch. Technically, just so good. I loved it when Bruno sort of came on as well and when Tonali's with him. When he starts playing with the other technical players, he looks so at home. 8.5. He's such a pleasure to watch. He can't be too far off an England call-up, surely.
Well, you'd hope so. Billy?
9.5 for me. Just give the ball away a couple of times, otherwise it would have been a 10. And without doubt, the best English left back, especially in the Premier League. No doubt about it.
Yeah, he's got to be up there now, hasn't he? He simply
if Tino's had 2 call-ups, then Hall's got to be close.
And Tino's last call-up, he wasn't playing very well. So I agree. I think he's better. Okay, let's move to Lloyd Kelly, Alex.
Oh, Lloyd Kelly, I think I will... I'm going to go a smidge higher than the Hall mark. I'm going to go for a 9 because he's not playing a lot. And to come in against that standard of forward line, and regardless of whether Chelsea fans or neutrals whinge that, it's their B-tide, I don't care. And I watched Nkunku in the Bundesliga. The guy's an absolute world beater. Mudryk, you paid 100-odd mil for. I don't care what the excuses are. Lloyd Kelly deserves a 9 for that performance in terms of the physicality, the positioning, building attacks, passing, the speed of the recovery runs. He was... João Felix was in front of him in a foot race and Lloyd Kelly made up the ground, got in front of him. We don't see that from centre-halves. So, yeah, a 9. I think he's fantastic and he has to be in the starting lineup going forward.
Yep. I've given him a 10 again. I just loved what I saw from Lloyd Kelly yesterday. Some of the blocks he made and tackles were incredible. Goal-saving blocks, goal-saving tackles. He's just got... He reads the game so well, which is a difference for me. And I think, Billy, you'd agree with that compared to Dan Burn, the reading of the game, because as soon as Dan Burn come on, Chelsea broke through straight away. And, Burn didn't read that pass, whereas Lloyd Kelly read everything. I just loved what I saw. Billy?
What's good about Kelly is if he doesn't read it, and 9 times out of 10 he does, if he doesn't read it, he's got the pace to get back in. And we saw that last night a couple of times. He did give the ball away a couple of times. Despite that, when he followed Nkunku out all the way like Dan Burn does, and then when he got Span, he ran with him, got in front of him, and then went and blocked the shot. 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10.
10. Okay. Fabian Schär, Billy.
Much better second half. I thought he was a bit lackadaisical first half, even with the captain's armband on. I'm going to give him a 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Alex?
I'll go for a 7. I thought his passing was good. It suited the match, but everything else was poor. I wasn't happy with, although he's done well physically in his duels and the data, I thought positionally he was still found wanting, a little bit lazy, a little bit lethargic, not reading things properly. It's got to change from Fabian. It's got to change. I don't care about the long passes if you're not doing your job as a defender first. You have to do step 1 before you do step 2. And at the moment, his defending is questionable. And we don't have a replacement for him because we didn't buy a new defender. Lascelles is still out for a long time. There's no rotation option, really. We're not going to put Krafth there. So it's a 7 and a mixed performance for me. The passes were great. I'm sure everybody's a bit angry at me about that. Passes were great, but defending still found wanting for me. It was an issue.
Yeah, I've given him a 7.5. Same issues, really. sometimes he switches off, and then he went and made that brilliant tackle in the second half, which we all thought was Lloyd Kelly, but it was actually Fabian Schär. So hit and miss. But listen, I'd say a lot more improved than he was at the weekend by quite a stretch.
Even second half and first half, he was.
Yeah, it was night and day, wasn't it? Shaun Longstaff, Alex.
I think Shaun. I'm going to give Shaun a 10 because I thought he was robbed of a goal. I think that was a goal. We didn't get decent replays of that. I'm really shocked as to why that was given as offside.
Shocking, by the way. I've seen a couple of stills, and I can't see an offside.
Nor can I.
Totally honest.
I think the performance was probably sort of an 8-ish, but then I'm going for the 10 because I think he's been absolutely robbed of a goal. I'm so shocked that was ruled offside. And I just want to address the whole we win when Shaun's in and we don't win when Shaun's not in. And I'm sorry, that is absolute nonsense. Nonsense. For anybody who's read articles about this today, I don't care what publication it is, nonsense. The Everton game, we didn't win it because Anthony Gordon shot his pen right instead of left. Shaun Longstaff does not influence Anthony Gordon taking that pen. It has nothing to do with the point accumulation in the match against Everton, and I would argue also in the game against Brighton. We played people clean through on goal against Brighton, and people fluffed their lines. That, secondly, has nothing to do with Shaun Longstaff. So I don't agree with this whole, people trying to put is it a more balanced midfield with Shaun? Yeah, possibly. But is it the reason why we've not won some of these games? No, absolutely not. That's people not being able to finish. 100%.
Somebody just won on something on eBay there.
It sounded like it, didn't it?
I heard a till. Whose till was that? Anyway, I've given him an 8 for exactly your reasons, Alex. I haven't counted the no goal because at the end of the day it wasn't given, but a much improved performance without a shadow of a doubt. So 8 for me, Billy.
I'll give him a 9. I just thought he broke play up so well. Very disciplined.
Yeah,
very regimented. Joined in with the attack as well. Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance from Shaun.
Okay, Joe Willock. I'm giving Joe Willock a 9. I thought he was so much better last night. That was the Joe Willock that we want to see moving forward, looking back to health again, and driving at defenders, brilliantly linking up with Joelinton throughout the game. I just thought it was excellent to watch, and I think if he can keep going like that, that is the Joe Willock we want and we need. There's a couple of super chats just to go through. Nick Thornton, thank you for yours. Kelly gets full marks, burnt to start on Saturday. Jens, thank you for yours. Evening, friends. Finally, Tonali took set pieces. Yes, he did. And Jilly, welcome to Members Club. I'm not sure if that's a renewal or not, but thank you very much for your membership and your support. Much appreciated. Billy, Joe Willock.
Yeah, I'll give him a 9. That's exactly what he needed. He needed minutes in his legs.
Yeah,
we saw the power and pace from last night, even before he went off. And actually, was the catalyst from going off was that long busting run of the whole pitch on the left flank there. Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. 9 out of 10.
Alex,
I'm going to go with a 7.5.
What?
So there's a reason for it. So I thought it was much, much better, physically in a better place. It looked like he was trusting his runs a bit more. He wasn't checking runs as much. He was happy to fully open up and sprint. Looks like he wasn't as worried about maybe getting injured. He was just going for it. Linking up with players a lot better. Could have had a goal. But the reason he's not got any higher than a 7.5 from me is because he didn't win a single duel, didn't make a single tackle. There was a little bit of old Joe Willock about that, of him just kind of floating around a bit.
He did. He wouldn't want in the box. A crucial one.
Yeah.
Well, I think it was more of a block.
Well, is that not a tackle?
It's not gone down as the data. I do remember what you were referring to. Yeah, I remember that. But he's not. Yeah, it's fine. He'll be fine. But I'm just basing it on this game. If he wants to be a starter in this team, we do need a little bit more of that physicality as well. Because imagine how much better the game could have been if we'd have got an extra 3 or 4 tackles off someone. We'd have had even more of the ball, even more opportunities. We want to win stuff. We want to win trophies. We're being critical.
I mean, Stephen Harker said there, come on, Cowell. Yeah, I mean, look, Alex will always surprise.
But people saying data. It's not data. He didn't win a tackle. He didn't win a tackle.
He did. But never mind. Anyway, let's move on. Sandro Tonali, Alex.
Well, that man did the above. He did what everybody's saying that Willock did. I think Tonali ran absolutely everywhere. I think it definitely helped that the press was a bit crap from Chelsea. I don't know what they were doing. They just gave Sandro just the play of the kingdom. They just let him do what he wanted, and boy, was he pinging it about. 90% passing accuracy. He's technically got an assist because he kind of got his leg in the way to get that ball forward to Isak, so he gets the assist for it. So fair enough.
Hey, I think that was a pass, man.
Yeah, I think it was a bit of both. Bit of a hybrid.
Like a pass to me. I've watched
Italian
it a
tackle
times.
pass. But yeah, he was just so cultured. It's such a weird thing to see, you know, a silky passing maestro that's also got a bit of physical monster about them in one, and he's quite pacey as well. That is what Sandro Tonali actually looks like, guys. For people who haven't seen him play well yet, that is more similar to kind of what we were expecting to get.
Are you going to score him?
I don't know. Have I not given a number yet?
No.
I'm going to give him a 9.
9. Okay. By the way, obviously the conversation now arises saying, can Tonali and Bruno play together? Are we a better side when one of them's not in the side? So
double pivot.
It's a talking point. Billy, Tonali?
10 for me. Yeah, I thought it was outstanding. I thought he ran the game. Just a fantastic performance. Did all the physical stuff, all the donkey work. Manoeuvred the ball around the pitch. Basically played as a quarterback when we were in attack. He was absolutely outstanding. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay, yep, 10 for me. I thought just brilliant. I think we mentioned it a couple of times during commentary, Billy. The way he just floats around the pitch, he's like a duck on water, isn't he? He just floats and just gives the passing is just fantastic to watch. It's just brilliant. Okay, let's move to Joelinton. And Joelinton, easy 10 for me. Absolutely superb. That man was a beast last night. Going forward, winning the ball. He was all over the pitch, and he was simply brilliant. And the fact that we can't get Joelinton into the Man of the Match award is incredible, because that just shows how well we played. But Joe, for me, was outstanding. Billy?
Yeah, I think 10 also. Considering he walked off the pitch against Chelsea gassed on Sunday, get that level of performance energy-wise on the Wednesday was remarkable, really. His powers of recovery were astonishing. Just a beast, an absolute beast, 10 out of 10.
I mean, yes, there's a lot of people mentioning that miss. Yes, he probably should have scored that, but you've got to look. His all-round game was just Chelsea couldn't cope with Joelinton last night. They just couldn't. He was back to his very, very best. Steve Mallam, thank you for being a member for 27 months now. Joelinton was my man of the match yesterday and on Sunday. Absolute monster. It gives Eddie thoughts for that left-hand side, because I thought Willock and Joelinton were brilliant down that left-hand side. That's probably as dangerous as we've looked on that left-hand side for a lot of this season, dare I say. And that's nothing against Anthony Gordon, but the link-up play down that left was brilliant yesterday. Alex, Joelinton.
Yeah, 10. I mean, I'm sort of around the 9-ish mark, but he gets a 10 because he decided to wander off and fight the entire Chelsea squad. Anthony Gordon wiped out Cucurella, which was a foul. But random centre-halves from Chelsea were trying to pick a fight, and Joelinton just wandered into a sea of
That's what I love about Joelinton.
8 players. He was like, no, I'll take you all on.
Yeah,
he was an absolute warrior, and he deserves a 10 just for the for the warrior. He basically he rekindled the warrior flame. He's taken up that title again in that match just for the destroyer like gameplay and contributing as kind of that winger, and just did everything. Went and helped out right back later on. He did so much for the team. So easy mark.
Andy G, I'm not sure what game you watched. He says, are you for real? He was awful. Lucky to get a 4.
He must be a
I
Chelsea
think he's
squad.
wearing a red and white shirt.
I think so as well. Dan Robinson, thank you for your super chat. Joelinton isn't a man. He was grown in a Brazilian lab and genetically spliced with a literal tank. I mean, I can't disagree with that. That's awesome. Thank you, everybody who's asking about Susan. She's still, poorly. She's in bed. She's not great. But you know what? She's a fighter and a battler, and she's on new painkillers, which are making her go a bit well, strong painkillers, you know what they do to you. They make you feel a bit sickly and dizzy and stuff like that. I mean, Billy, you'll know you've had strong painkillers recently, so they're not very nice until they get into your system. So she's battling on, but thank you to everybody. She saw all your kind comments on the Matchday Live show as well. So thank you very much, guys. Okay, Anthony Gordon, Alex.
Yeah, I think he dropped off a little bit in the second half, although obviously he did get substituted. And I'm going to go high. I'm going to go with an 8.5 because I thought his intensity helped drive the rest of everyone forward. It was such a unified press with Joelinton, Tonali, him. Because I think Isak's press it can be a little bit meh sometimes. So Gordon has to overcompensate for Isak just kind of blocking passing lanes. And he was pretty on it pressing. Nearly robbed it off the goalkeeper as well, to be fair. That he had the goalkeeper quite nervous in that first half because of how ferocious the press was. Yeah, it was really, really solid. I think the plaudits go to other people on the day, but Anthony Gordon did all the hard work behind the scenes, really.
Do you know what? I don't agree. I didn't see much from Gordon that sort of, and I said this in commentary. I thought I want to see more from Anthony Gordon. I thought that was the only. And listen, Gordon came back from a groin strain, and sometimes when you've had a groin strain, you don't really want to. You're a bit apprehensive about pushing yourself just in case.
Well, groin strain put out on the right.
Yeah, I wanted to see a bit more. There's lots of 8s and 9s for him in the chat, but I've given him a 6.5. I just didn't see enough from him yesterday.
Really?
Yeah. And listen, that's nothing against Anthony Gordon. I just think coming back into the game, I don't know. It just my
There
view.
was the run at the end of the first half as well, where he beat his man, ran the entire length of the pitch, got across to the back post for Joe Willock.
Yep, but listen, that's my score. But hey, everyone can disagree with me. They're probably going to do, but I did say it a few times during the show, during the Matchday Live commentary, that I wanted to see a bit more from him. Billy, Anthony Gordon.
I'll give him a 7.5. Intensity, basically. He was outshadowed by a lot of the other players creatively and shining light-wise, but I thought his intensity was fantastic. As you say, coming back off a groin injury, I'll give him a 7.5.
Yeah. C15 Rice but a 6.5. It isn't that bad. It's actually quite good because if we're going off a 5, I mean, it's still it's an upward performance. So that's what you'd say, Alex.
Yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, Alexander Isak. What's really got to me about this is people saying, "Oh, something's not right with him. Look at his goal celebration."
Yeah,
now I've looked at it quite a few times today. His goal celebration. He celebrated. He went down on his knees, did he not? And then got up and then kind of. Said, yeah, can I just say that I think that goal reaction from Isak was just blatant, honest relief.
Probably.
That it wasn't a tap in. We can't just say, well, he scored a couple of tap ins. It was a very good finish because let's face it, the ball came to him quickly. He had to make a decision about where he's putting the ball. And that was the finish that we have got so used to with Alexander Isak.
It was very early in the half as well. So you don't want to over celebrate that.
Exactly, but still, I think people are making far too much of that. And again, this is the problem. People are making stories that, quite frankly, are not there. Saying things like that and saying, "Oh, just because he didn't celebrate, there's something must be the matter with him." He did celebrate. So, and I think it's a massive relief to him because he got the ball, he turned, he put it in the back of the net. That was the Isak clinical side that we have been begging to see for quite some time now. I thought his press was good. I thought he looked a lot more hungrier for the ball. He was linking up well with players. He linked up that well. I kept getting Willock and Isak mixed up during the commentary because Willock was going forward. Isak was coming deep. I couldn't keep up with the bugger. So I thought it was much, much better from Isak yesterday. So I've gone with an 8. Alex.
Yeah, I'm going to go a tad higher. I'll go an 8.5. I think maybe it deserves a tiny bit more. He got the goal. I liked there was a bit more variety in how we were using Isak. We didn't just stick him up front and keep him isolated.
And by the way, his cross for Joelinton's miss was sensational.
Well, that's what I'm going to talk about now. Is the fact that he was allowed to go right, allowed to go left. That's clearly an instructional thing because he's gone from never doing that to now doing it loads in one match. It's clearly something that they've discussed, and it was refreshing. Gordon and Willock went and took up central spaces to pull players away. Isak went and built up with other people. And it was pulling Chelsea out, and they didn't know who to follow. And Isak's really, really good at driving with the ball anyway. It's one of his skill sets that we don't get to see because sometimes he just gets stuck up front. But he's great at progressing the ball. He's a very good dribbler. 8.5, really good from him. It can't go any higher than that because I think it was. Well, obviously, we'll talk about Osulu when he came on, but it's visibly obvious to people now who hadn't realised this, that Isak doesn't have that kind of hold-up, heading, aerial presence.
Very different players. Very different players.
Yeah, 6'4", or 6'3". Isak,
but they're completely built differently. They're built differently.
No excuses for me. If you're 6'3", you need to be doing better in the air.
I
will hold him accountable.
He's built like a twig, man. Well, he's not going to hold the ball up like Osula. There's no.
Peter Crouch was built like a twig.
Oh, give over Peter Crouch, my fat ass. What are you bringing him into it for? Give over, will you, man?
He needs to do better in the air. That's a fair criticism.
Yes, he does. But you're comparing him with Osula's frame. Osula's a giant of a man compared to Isak.
But he's an inch taller. Osula is. He's an inch taller.
Yeah, Alex.
And Isak's got 4 years of professional football experience on Osula at places like Dortmund.
Agreed.
He should have been
but
trained.
You're talking about completely
better.
different frames, and trust me, from an ice hockey
frame
point of view, it does. Don't you dare go there with me.
I will go there. I will dare go there.
Frame
doesn't. No. Frame does not change timing. Frame does not change timing.
When you go into competitive battle like that, if you've got a frame like Osula, you will win the ball
frame
more
has
than you will if you build like a twig.
Frame has nothing to do with timing. Not at all.
You've got to have the body strength as well, though, Alex. And
you've got to have the body strength. Yeah, but when he gets to the ball,
Osula's going to have more body strength than Isak.
I think the key to it all is Osula's more aggressive. That's what we need to say.
No,
really.
I'm not having it there. When he gets to the ball, his headers are off target. They're not to the right players. They ping off in different places because he's bad at headers and his timing's awful. I agree with the physical strength side of it, but there is more to it than that. There is more to it.
Hi, it's me is right. An inch is a big thing in life, Alex. Trust me. Spike, thank you for your super chat. That's the Newcastle we've missed. Absolutely. Ian Fleming, thank you for yours. And give Susan my best wishes. I certainly will, Ian. Thank you very much. Isak, Billy.
Well, it's such a strange occurrence to see him win a ball in the air last night that we actually commented on it. He's actually won a ball in the air. He did. Yeah,
you did. You were quite surprised at that. It did take you by surprise.
It did, yeah. I thought he played really well. I thought he was a threat. The cross to Joelinton, the goal itself was a great finish, and on another night would have got an assist for the second one without the deflection and the own goal thing.
Yeah,
I'm going to give him a 9. I thought it was brilliant.
Okay. By the way, Alex, the comments are 50-50, basically, saying some agree with you, some agree with me. So we'll just call it quits.
That are wrong, aren't they?
Just call it quits, man. What's the matter with you?
Not. No, because I completely disagree.
Well, there's a surprise.
You've got Marco, who disagrees with everything I say on every show.
Alex,
you're a moron, Marco, because all you do is rude to me every single show.
You can't call somebody a moron for disagreeing with you.
I absolutely can. All he does is dig out my opinions every single show.
But there is other people saying the same. This is
it
what
doesn't
I mean.
mean they're right, though. It does not mean they're right.
But it doesn't mean you're right either.
Potentially it is. It's something.
How can you be right though? How
because
can
it's
your opinion
science.
be right and ours is wrong? No.
That's how life works. Sometimes there's right and wrong.
You cannot have an opinion and say you are right when other people have opinions as well.
It's something that might not be subjective. Sometimes there is a right and a wrong answer.
Not having it. Not having
Alexander Isak at 6'3" is shit in the air and needs to get better.
Everybody has opinions. And it doesn't, yours not necessarily is true.
Sometimes there is a yes or a no to a question. Sometimes there is.
No.
Of course there is.
Anyway, let's move on. Who came on? So, did Osula?
The first one.
I'm
not taking the L. You've got people telling me to move on. No, sorry, mate. I'm not taking the L. There is a yes or a no to answers and questions.
Alex never takes the L. You know about that. You know that Alex doesn't take the L. He never does. When
6'3", 25-year-old Prem striker, win the ball in the air.
Nobody can disagree with it. When that man is right, he is right.
I'm not being
End of
snowflakey
story.
with this. We're not doing everybody can have an opinion and everybody's right
Yes,
and
they
everybody gets
can.
a trophy. Sometimes there's a right or a wrong answer. So
I mean, Dan Burns 6'7" doesn't win all the balls in the air.
yeah, because his timing's absolutely useless. Again, that's proof.
Billy, you stay out of it. Flynn saying, grow up, man. Oh, piss off, will you? Grow up, man. Jesus Christ, it's called a debate. Have you ever seen them? We're not one of these channels that sits and agrees with each other. Yes, 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 all the time. Jesus Christ, man. That's why people like us, because we have debates. You know, we don't agree with each other. Doesn't mean we hate each other or fall out. It's called a debate. Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, there's lots of people saying Alex is right. Good for you. I'm not going to have a go at you, even though I think you're wrong. Anyway, Billy, who came on when?
I don't know. Start, you got the subs.
63 was we had Bruno and Osula came on.
No, well, we'll do both them too. I'm not giving both 10. They're both brilliant.
You give them both 10, Billy, yeah?
Yep.
Simple. Alex?
I'll give him both 10s. Bruno was unplayable. Nobody could get the ball off him. And Will Osula was a freak, won everything that was thrown at him.
Flynn,
Tino
hang
should have
on,
played him
Alex.
through.
Flynn, if you've watched us for years, you know exactly what we're like. So you shouldn't be saying that in the first place. If you've watched this channel for years, you know what we're like.
I've had 3 years of people telling me that there can be opinions on a right or a wrong answer, and I'm sick
Let's
of it.
move on. Dan Robinson, thank you for your super chat. I'm only good in the maths debate. Yes, very funny. Okay, Alex. Bruno.
Yeah, I'll give them both 10s. I thought they were really good. Osula was great physically, nearly scored. Tino should have played him through and was silly not to. Bruno was unplayable. Both 10s, fantastic.
Okay. Channel Right, thank you for your super chat. Isak is shite in the air. Like Pope is shit at kicking. We still manage to work, thankfully. So he's on your side, Alex.
Well, I think we both agree that Isak's crap in the air. I think it was just more about why.
We do very
I think
much
it was
agree.
why we were disagreeing.
He is crap in the air. Roberto says, I agree with both, in my opinion. I feel it's more lack of effort from some players in the air. Gordon has made some amazing headers. He didn't against Brighton, but never mind. Yeah, I've given Bruno and Osula 10 as well. That one when Osula hit the post, Alex, was just a fantastic piece of, people saying he's not ready for the Premier League, but by what I saw last night, this guy can make an impact. If Eddie brings him on earlier in the game, he can make an impact.
Yeah, he has no excuse now, does he?
No.
I was in a harm moment last night when he came on. For me, anyway.
Yeah. And he was a sensational piece of skill, Alex, and a great shot. And it was very unlucky not to score.
Yeah, it was instinct. It was almost instinctive. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He knew where to be positioned. He knew where the goal was. He knew where to spin. It was practice with instinct. And yeah, it was fantastic. And you can see why we've signed him. He still does look raw, very raw, but you can see he's got all the right ingredients there of pace, power. He looks quite lethal as well, despite not having a great goal scoring record. You can see he's definitely got all the right things. We've just got to hope he develops properly, and hopefully that'll have swayed him in Eddie Howe's mind to be trusted. Because he looks fine. He was contributing defensively. He was sensible.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind him coming on in a Prem game. I thought he was fine.
Right, who was next to come on?
Tino and Dan Burn.
Okay, so Alex, Billy's we're waiting his moment, so we'll let you do Livermento and Burn first.
Tino can have a 7, and I feel like I'm being generous there because he wasn't making the right decisions in the final third when he was doing all the hard work to get there and then just not playing the right ball every time, which was a shame. It was something that he was doing in last year's Carabao Cup that he's not doing now.
Yeah.
And Dan Burn can have a 4 because if he starts at 5, I'm just going to dock him points for just being lazy. Yeah. And he let João Felix straight through in a one-on-one, which Lloyd Kelly hadn't done the entire first half. And I just wasn't confident.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the 4 for Dan Burn.
I've gone 6.5 for Tino and 3.5 for Burn. Like I said earlier, you just alluded to it, Alex, that pass that came through. Lloyd Kelly had read those passes whole game. Dan Burn comes on, and he's so far out of position. He's even at full stretch when he's trying to intercept that pass, and he doesn't get there. That just says to me how far out of position he was compared to Kelly's reading of the game. It's completely chalk and cheese with them two. Billy?
I'll give Tino a 7 and I'll give Burn a 2. I thought he was absolutely dreadful. Same mistakes as Sunday, following plays out, not being able to get back. Just dreadful. Shouldn't be playing centre half now. We've seen what the real deal looks like. And it should be Lloyd Kelly until Botman's fit. Let them two scrap it out so he plays.
Yeah. Was that it for subs, Alex? I think it was.
Lewis Miley, but it was a token appearance, really.
He came on him with a minute left. 10 just for seeing him. Okay, Eddie Howe, Alex.
10, easy 10.
Okay. Billy?
Yeah, I'll give him a 10. Yeah, outstanding in game management. Really, really good.
Yep, I've gone the same. Hey, when was the last time the three of us gave Eddie Howe a 10?
I know.
It's certainly not this season, is it? No way. Fact,
I'm not sure what we rated him against Spurs, but we obviously the last time I think we gave him a lot of praise was maybe against Spurs, but that was a while ago now.
I'll tell you what it was, Alex, if you bear with me a second.
Probably was Spurs.
Because we changed the shape and...
Well, Spurs, Alex, you give him a 7.5. I give him a 7.5. Billy a 6.5.
Well, Spurs?
Spurs.
Well, when we beat them.
When we beat them, yeah, that is the marks.
We were being a bit harsh, weren't we, I think?
Well, I think so. I don't know. Because Murphy, Tonali and Hall came on, so I don't know.
Well, he didn't start Tonali, obviously.
Yeah, Isak got a 5 from most of us, apart from the 3 from me. Something must have happened in that game for us to do that.
I think we've been a bit harsh there, but never mind.
Well, I think it was more to do with in-game management, to be honest, Alex. I think that's what...
yeah, mayed we critiqued him for set pieces and subs. And
yeah, we didn't beat Spurs by usual 4 or 5 goals, or maybe that's what it was.
It was a little bit... It was a little bit...
Each other.
Yeah, we didn't play very well.
6 again.
Yeah. John Adams, thank you for your super chat. Best accumulated team score ever.
It's up there.
Oh, I'm not sure it beats PSG.
No, that's true.
Yeah, I think PSG last season at home was pretty sensational.
Even Burn got a 10 that night.
Well, yeah, I think he did, Billy. Yes, because he scored as well, didn't he? So there you go. Right now, we'll turn to the viewers' player of the match before we turn to the Arsenal game. We have a look through some stats with Alex. Right, who do you think the viewers have gone for, guys?
Well, Sandro. I don't know.
So it was between Tonali, Kraft, Hall, and Kelly.
Could be any of them, to be fair. You could argue against any of them, really.
If you were a betting man, Billy Trey.
I'd go for Sandro, probably.
Okay. Tonali has won it. 49% of the votes. Emil Kraft was second with 21%. Lloyd Kelly on 16 and Lewis Hall 14. So Tonali by a stretch. Nicole Watson, thank you for your super chat. Topic TTR read about clubs pacing a season, how to press, adjust diets, training, etc. Do you think our absence of the high press intensity until now is just strategic, pacing for a whole season?
It's a very good question.
Interesting point. Yeah, it's a very interesting point.
I think the answer is no, though. I think the intent was we were trying to play a bit more of a dominant style.
Yeah.
And then people were late back from an international tournament like Gordon, and I think there were reasons.
Yeah. Well, there you go. I'll just end that poll so we don't continue it. Okay. Dear. Where's that? And you were what did we say before the show, guys? We actually called ourselves the Men in Black, and then Billy said, well, it is Halloween. So there you go. Steve says Tonali had 10K on him winning the TDR vote. Oh,
good lad.
He's rich now then. Okay, let's turn our attention to Arsenal, because this is going to be a very topical discussion as to what he does with the team. Because there is definitely certain players who, for me, have given Eddie a headache for Saturday without a shadow of a doubt. I hope that Eddie just didn't have a team in his mind for Arsenal and he's going to go with that, because I think changes have to be made, and for me, changes for the better. What stats have we got on Arsenal, Alex?
Let's not see them. They're pretty good, aren't they?
Well,
Yeah,
we can
let's
show you the
just,
stats. But they are good.
Let's make us feel better.
Right, if you want stats, they are here. So it's not great reading. It's they're good. They're fifth in the league for goals per match, fourth in the league for goals conceded per match. They're only down in seventh for XG, so not creating as many goal scoring opportunities as you'd think, really. Clean sheets, 3 so far. Top 5 for big chances created. Top 6 for big chances created. Accurate long balls down in 16th, so not as direct as you'd think. 18.4 per 90. Only 12th for average accurate passes as well. What was the possession? Do we have where's possession? Possession. Oh, there it is. 11th. Okay, interesting.
That's
a little bit different than we saw last year.
Yeah, that surprises me. That.
So, again, maybe playing a slightly different way, happy to give up the ball and maybe play sometimes on the counter. We know how difficult it is to try and unlock a team if you've just got all of the ball. We just had that issue against Brighton and Everton, so it can be a problem. Need to sneeze. Oh, there we go. It's disappeared. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. I'm fine. We're all good. 15th in XG conceded, which is good. Top 5 in corners. You'd expect them to be pretty high, a team like this. 3rd for touches in the opposition box is a little bit scary. That's rather good. Interesting, down in 17th for interceptions, but 8th for tackles. There's not really too much that we can take from this. They're good at everything. They're good at lots. More importantly is probably to have a look at who's not available and what lineups they could play. So fortunately for us, Calafiori is injured, as is Gabriel. I think Saliba was suspended, but I think he's back.
He's back now, yeah.
And I think Odegaard is a possibility to come back, Alex.
Well, it says mid-November on this graphic, so I'm going to be very angry if he's back. Hopefully he's not fit.
Yeah, I've read a few reports today saying there's a possibility he could return. I don't know if that's as a starter, mind. That could be on the bench, by the way.
So this is their recent lineup against Preston in the Carabao Cup. So they went with a 4-3-3 with Yuri and Timber in there, Saliba. They went with Marino, of course, played for us, Jorginho. Bit of a rotation team there. Martinelli, Sterling, Gabriel Jesus up front. No sort of Havertz and those kinds of players, or Declan Rice. And if we go and have a look at the squad versus Liverpool, this might be a little bit closer to what we might play against. Although I don't think there'll be this not passive, defensive. They've obviously set up in a particular way because they were missing key players. They were missing Saliba. Liverpool are quite a dangerous team, so they've obviously lined up to reflect that. They may not be as respectful to us. They will probably be a bit more aggressive than this lineup, I would imagine. So if Saliba's back, I'm not sure how the centre-halves are going to line up. Potentially Ben White with Saliba. Again, I've not watched an awful lot of Arsenal this year, so... but again, Declan Rice and Marino likely, unless they bring Jorginho into the mix. Saka is always going to be out on the right. He captained that game. Interesting. You've got Trossard, who we know is a very dangerous player and quite dangerous off the left. Kai Havertz, despite the fact we all hate him. And sorry, I know we've got a few Arsenal fans in the chat, but he's a rat bag, and all he does is try to injure people. He's very dangerous. We know he went through a bit of a rough patch, but we can't underestimate him now. He's dangerous. He's clinical. He's physical. He's clever with his positioning. He's played everywhere. He's played as a midfielder, box-to-box midfielder back in Germany, and then he's played kind of everywhere for Chelsea and now for Arsenal. He's got a lot of experience. He's very cheeky, very naughty. And we've got to be very careful because they are one of the best sides in the country going for the title. However, a little bit thin at the back. So if we have a nice day from Anthony Gordon and Isak, there are points available in this match. I definitely think. I don't know what you guys think, but with a back four like that, if it's a bit makeshift, if we can go with a bit of intensity, there's definitely points available. We can rattle them, especially how we just did it to Chelsea. So we'll have to see.
Thomas Partey at right back. I mean, Jesus. Just a couple of things to go through before we look at our team. Peter Proudlock celebrating a year's membership on the channel. Thank you very much, Pete. We can get at their defence, particularly if Kiwior players. If Gabriel is missing, he's awful. He reminds me of Mustafi. Yeah, I think Gabriel will be playing.
Yeah, Kiwior has question marks about doing it at this level. Although he's a very good player, I've seen a lot of Kiwior for Poland. So yeah, he's good, and again, Partey is not a right back, and there's a lot of square pegs in round holes at the moment in the Arsenal defence. So yeah, 100%. With the attackers we've got, if Gordon and Isak decide to turn up, we could definitely win this game.
Yeah. Peter Garthwaite, thank you for a super chat. He says, Eddie will revert to type against Arsenal. The MAGA reporting, Eddie, how relationship with Mitchell is completely broken.
How would they know that?
How would the MAG know that?
They found that out off the back of everybody being really happy last night.
Yeah.
Bit weird.
Yeah. But there you go again. Even on the back of a brilliant win against Chelsea, there's always people trying to put a little bit of a spanner in the works, a little bit of a dark cloud over the club, and even from the MAG. I don't read the MAG a lot. It's a website, isn't it, I believe?
It used to be a magazine years ago, didn't it? It used to be a physical magazine.
Yeah, I don't know what it is now, but dear me. I mean, why even mention that? We'll see how much. Let's just see the January transfer window. What happens there?
It's nonsense.
Of course, it is.
You can't run a football club and a business where the manager of the team and the entire operations director doesn't speak to each other. Like the chairman would be out instantly because it's broken and something needs to be fixed.
Apparently, it's a report that was in on Monday, so it was before the game. Well, it doesn't matter.
It's nonsense.
Well,
the chairman would be straight over.
Anthony Gordon signing of the new contract, they were arm in arm with each other. So, I don't think they do that if they didn't like each other.
Nah, look, it's all nonsense just to create a little bit of a spat. We'll see. Let's just see how the window works out in January, shall we? And see how close they work together. Okay, Alex, let's do this. Let's try and put this team together for Saturday, of course.
Do you want to put it up?
Yeah, there you go.
Right, let's move some of the guessings off. Let's get Pope.
I mean, Vlachodimos wasn't even involved against Chelsea. No man starting, was he?
No.
Unbelievable.
He can go. Share, you would imagine, stays there.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Are we building what we want, or are we building what we think?
Well, let's build what we want first, and then we'll see.
That's what I want, but he'll play Burn because of the set piece threat, no doubt about it.
I mean, I'm going to build what I want. you say build what I want. Okay, I'm going to build what I want. I am going to go. I don't know quite how to do this. Sean, where are you, Sean? I can't find Sean. There's Sean.
Oh, Alex, man.
Yeah, I know you're gonna hate this. Oh, you're gonna hate this. It's gonna be that. It's basically gonna be a 4-5-1 or a 4-1-4-1, however you want to read it. I want that.
You're gonna play Longstaff there instead of Gordon.
Oh no, we've not got Gordon in this lineup, have we?
No.
All right, we need to shuffle things around here then.
Longstaff out.
He gets dropped.
Longstaff.
All right, Longstaff can go, and Gordon can come and do shuttle runs. There you go, and it can turn from that into that, and then Kraft to be really solid. Kelly,
you know what,
to
Alex? I 100% agree with that lineup you've got there.
I think it's a bit more defensively sound.
I actually like that. Like I would not be unhappy if I saw that team sheet and that was the lineup.
Yeah, I'll be happy with that, but it ain't going to be that because Dan Burn will play because of set piece threat.
Oh, Billy, stop, man!
Also, I don't know why Atticus doesn't like Bruno. He hates Bruno. I don't know why.
Just Billy, just give us a few minutes before we have to change it, please.
Well, you know it's going to be Burn. You know it is.
Just a few minutes of dreaming.
Because he's even got the excuse about the set piece threat that Arsenal possess. You know that's a great excuse for him to pick the tall bloke at the back.
What? But if we're talking about timing headers, etc., Kelly's timing the headers is superb.
Well, it is, but I mean, Dan Burn stands there and nods him away, doesn't he? He might even play him instead of Share. I don't know, but Burn will be in that side. You can guarantee it. I hope ain't left back. Imagine that.
Oh.
You can't drop Lewis Hall with the performances he's putting in.
Burn against Saka.
Oh my god,
flaming hell!
Burn will be in.
Flaming hell.
All the more reason to play Lloyd Kelly because it's Saka.
Yeah.
And can I just point out, see, we do agree on a lot of things as well. I've just said Alex's team lineup there is spot on. I 100% back Alex with that.
I'd love that. Yeah,
and then bloody Billy Bob comes in with his big bloody crowbar and smashes it to pieces.
Obviously, the only issue with this is there's not really much to bring on if we're chasing a game. You've got maybe Barnes, and then it's Murphy and Miggy really if you want to.
I know, but on the flip side of that, Alex, I'd rather put a team out who's going to, not be chasing the game. And hopefully, if we put that kind of team out, I think that's a team that can get at Arsenal without a doubt.
I feel like there's more similarities in this lineup to how we've just played against Chelsea. It would allow Joelinton and Willock to go do things on the left like they used to.
Yep.
Joelinton can help with wide cover. And then if in the second half or if anything happens, we could bring Shaun on. Joelinton can go defend in other places and do funny things like he's done. It's flexible. We could bring Osula on and play a bit more direct.
I don't mind Longstaff coming on in the second half, Alex, when legs start to get tired. I think he can do a job like that without a doubt. But
obviously, people are going to put it like this, aren't they? But you never know. He might do this.
Well, he could do that when we go forward and then drop back to a 4-5-1 because he did that last night. When we were defending, we mentioned it, Billy. We could clearly see a 4-5-1 when we were defending, Yeah.
Right, should we build what Eddie Howe's going to play then?
Oh, do we have to? Oh, really? I was feeling good about that lineup, and now it's going to be taken away from us.
I mean, he's going to play Barnes because Barnes didn't, It's what are we saying? Are we saying he's going to play Tino as well? Even though I think Emil Kraft deserves a start, he's probably going to play Tino. I reckon he'll probably play that.
Right, but can I ask you guys a question here? Right, we're talking about Eddie and his favourites and stuff like that, and the criticism he's had when he sees performances like he did yesterday. Okay, the likes of Emil Kraft, who for me is playing better than Tino is at the moment. He's been better form. Lloyd Kelly, much better centre back than Dan Burn. Dan Burn, fair enough to come on, shore things up if we need, like he did last night. And then you look at the front, we looked superb down that left-hand side last night. The best we've looked all season. And then he's going to revert to type. Now, surely that's got to be a criticism if he does do that.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. There's definitely a lineup I think a lineup in there exists that we can beat Arsenal with. And I have reservations about whether Eddie's going to pick that.
I mean, look, Julie doesn't agree with the Eddie Howe favourites. Maybe his favourites isn't the word I was looking for, but what I'm saying is, if players have are in better form than other players, and the lineup that we just put up at the start there, for me, I think the majority of fans would certainly agree that that's the lineup that we should go with against Arsenal, because down that left-hand side, we looked superb, best we've looked all season. Anthony Gordon's got some more minutes under his belt from his groin strain. He'll be flying on Saturday, and he can do it on the right as well. Then you've got the midfield. You've got the powerhouse that is Joelinton, etc., etc. It just, for me... Yeah, we're at home, Alex, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just, that's what I'm trying to say. And I think Eddie needs to realise that he can't keep playing Dan Burn, etc. when Lloyd Kelly, for me, looks a completely better defender. And that's nothing against Dan Burn. Dan Burn, for me, like I've just said, can come on as substitute, shore things up if he needs to drop another defender.
Like he did yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Dan Burn is the epitome of a favourite, because last season he played every game at left back if he couldn't play centre half. He had to squeeze him in somehow when he was fit. So he is definitely a favourite.
Nobody can tell me that Lloyd Kelly is not a better option than Dan Burn. It's fact.
It's not even if we say that. If you just go in on recent form.
Yeah, on form as well, which is why I think Kraft needs to start ahead of Livramento.
Yeah. Any way you spin it, it's Lloyd Kelly.
And Willock and Joelinton just have such an understanding. We saw it 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
we saw those combine brilliantly on the left-hand side and cause all sorts of problems for the opposition. And last night was the best we've been down that left-hand side this season. No doubt. Whether it's been Gordon or Barnes there, we looked more dangerous down that left-hand side. Look at that first half. Look at how many times we came down, caused them so many problems down that left-hand side of ours. For me, it's a no-brainer, but I actually I do worry that we're going to go back to resort to type like this and then, not play well again. That's my worry.
I'd sooner see Willock on the left-hand side than Barnes, I'll be honest. But Willock just played 60, 70 minutes last night, and it weren't a slow 70 minutes. He
No, but that probably done him the power of good, Billy. You got in
I
this
would
morning,
say so.
massage, etc. Get back out there.
So.
The fact that it is at home as well, there's an opportunity to get this, because we are good at home with the crowd.
But if he's playing Willock in that game tomorrow, why have we signed Harvey Barnes? That's what I mean. That's where the out was.
I mean, the Harvey Barnes signing is always going to puzzle people. When we had Gordon there as well, didn't it? It's always going to cause a bit of debate. Chris Lynch with a massive £50 super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. That is incredible generosity. He says, best wishes to Susan. We need to load the midfield to nullify Arsenal's midfield. Well, they've got some good players in midfield. Nick Thornton, thank you to yours. Reverting to type, we'll see how sacked this season.
Well, if he reverts to type,
he reverts,
he might surprise us.
To see. Yeah, I mean, 11:15 on Saturday morning, we will see what he's going to do. And
we early kickoff.
Yeah, it's 12:30 kickoff, mate. Yeah,
can they give it to Liverpool for once?
I hate it. Which is it? TNT, Billy, that's got that.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, it shouldn't make much of a difference, should it? Because they train at those kinds of times. So
yeah, but we hate these kickoffs, Alex. We're not the best at them.
I think we are. I think we enjoy the moment more under the lights in the evening. But in terms of for a player's kind of routine, they're used to kind of getting up, having a bit of breakfast, doing a bit of stretching in gym, and then going out onto a pitch. So you'd think 12:30 would be absolutely like normal for them, surely.
Mm-hmm. Well,
who's the referee Saturday? Anyone know?
Oh God,
John Brooks.
Oh no!
God. And it is on TNT, so it is on television.
Bloody Nora, John Bloody Brooks. Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, we just have to wait and see what Eddie goes for. But I'd love to see that lineup that we put up first. I really, really would.
She's going to be conflicted, isn't she? Laura Woods, being an Arsenal supporter, but she has a Geordie bun in the oven, doesn't she?
She does have a Geordie bun in the oven. I believe, is her dad a Newcastle fan?
Yeah. He was on Geordie
I'm sure her dad's a Newcastle fan, yeah. Well, Julie's actually going to Twickenham on Saturday, so hopefully I can watch the match at Twickenham before England take on New Zealand.
Looking forward to that.
Have a great time, Julie. It will be a cracking game, yeah. Enjoy yourself. Okay. Prediction time.
Just don't do an Erica Rowe.
What's that, Billy?
Oh, Julie will know.
Okay.
We've got an Arsenal fan in.
From an Arsenal perspective, we'll have the same lineup that we played versus Liverpool last week. White might be injured too, as he wasn't in the squad versus Preston. I think he's been on the sunbed too much. That's probably why his skin's beginning to sort of just leather up a little bit. So likely Saliba and Kiwior with Partey right back.
Well, see, they're giving us a lot of respect there, thinking that they're going to go 4-4-2 and a bit more reserved. That's a lot of respect to pay us, really.
Look, they're a wonderful side. Let's be honest. Whoever plays for Arsenal, they are a fantastic footballing side. And to be frank, I want them to win the league this season over Man City and Liverpool. I'd rather see Arsenal win it, but obviously
they can, because everybody's got a lot of injuries. City have got a lot of injuries, but Saliba needs to stop getting sent off. They need to cut that out.
Yeah.
Well, it's red cards full stop. How many they had this season? They've had a few. I know some of them have been a bit harsh. I mean, the Rice one was ridiculous, but they have a record for red cards.
Clude says, Stato, can you predict us to get beat again, please? Thanks in advance.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, dear. I don't think any of us got it right, did we? 2-0.
Oh, no, I think I said 2-1, didn't I?
I think I said 2-1. No, I said 2-2.
Predicting
I said
several goals and a clean sheet was not looking likely, was it? Before the
wasn't.
game?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Okay, let's go for the predictions. Get your scores in the chat, guys. Billy, we'll start with you tonight.
I think there's a result there for us. Again, it's the crowd. You've got to get the crowd on the side. Very similar to the game against Chelsea for me. I'll say 2-1 Newcastle.
I've offended King Hoddle by it. Okay. Paul, we should play Barnes in a cam role instead of out wide because we could get more out of him.
We don't play with the camera, do we?
No, yeah, it's
No.
playing with a camera.
Oh, that reminds me as well. People saying they want Tonali in the 6. I don't think Tonali can play in the 6. Well, he can, but he's not.
He's not an out-and-out 6, is he? I mean,
It's
I'd rather
purely
see
the
him forward.
protection. There's been quite a lot of moments where we've seen him lose the ball because he's not paid attention sometimes, more than Bruno does. And that's out in wider positions or further forward. And I think people maybe underestimate how hard that position has become in modern football nowadays.
Yeah.
And Bruno's protection of the ball is elite. Not just world class, it's elite. That there's 10 or 15 players in the world that can protect the ball as well as Bruno does in a top league like this. And Tonali, I don't think he's got particularly just that quality. It's okay, but he's got the passes and the physicality and the swagger, but you need to be able to keep hold of that ball for dear life. And that is Bruno's. Yeah, he's great at it.
Bruno's passing is terrible.
Who said that?
Bruno's passing is terrible. Well, watching different games to you then, Philip. He doesn't underhit every pass. The problem sometimes with Bruno is he does a little chipped pass when he doesn't need to. That I've seen that a couple of times.
Listen, he says it underhits every pass. He does underhit some passes, but the majority, come on. He's levels above.
Bruno
by the way,
fanboys, wow. Definitely a troll.
Hang on a minute. I get crucified for player ratings for giving Bruno low scores, or what people assume are low scores. So Tonali is way better.
I think this is Felipe. I think he's Italian.
Well, possibly. Anyway, what did you go for, Billy?
2-1 Newcastle.
2-1 Newcastle. By the way, there's a lot of Arsenal fans bringing up the revenge thing for what happened at St James's Park last season. They still haven't let it go a year down the line. Incredible. So I mean, could you imagine we win the game 1-0 with a dodgy was the ball in or out?
I
goal
hope it
again?
is. I really hope it is, because they will literally have a meltdown.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, what's your prediction?
I'm going to go for a 2-0 loss just so we might win.
So that's what.
This, isn't it?
Yeah,
because every time I predict a loss, we win. So I said I think we'd lose to Spurs, and we beat Spurs. I said I think we'd lose to Chelsea, and we beat Chelsea. So I'm going to go with a loss.
Wow. Okay. Kristen, thank you for being a member for 14 months on the channel. Thank you for your support. He's gone Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. Well, he's gone Newcastle 2, Arsenal 1. By the way, it's amazing what a win can do for Newcastle United fans, isn't it? The amount of score predictions that have gone through this chat, with like 3-1 Newcastle and things like that. It's incredible how it just changes from one week to the next. We are a fantastic bunch of us Newcastle fans. Alex, what score did you say there? 2-0 to Arsenal.
Yes.
Alrighty. I'm going.
Just say 5-0. You usually do.
Okay, 5-0 Newcastle. Why not?
And I'm also going to say I will donate the rest of my Halloween sweets if Kai Havertz gets a red card and clattered whilst getting the red card. Because he deserves it for elbowing Dan Burn in the eye socket and giving him a bruise for several weeks. A couple of seasons ago, he's a little scrote, and I don't think he's had his karmic justice yet.
He should have had it last year as well for nearly breaking Longstaff's leg.
Well, Billy, has he not had it even when he was at Chelsea? Has he not been some very dodgy tackles at St James's?
Well, that's the one that Stats alluded to when he was at Stamford Bridge, wasn't it? The elbow in the face.
Yeah,
that was while he was at Chelsea. But the tackle against Longstaff last year was nothing short of assault, really.
And to the Arsenal fans in the chat, it's not against your whole team. It's Kai Havertz. I think Kai Havertz did this when he was still at Chelsea as well. It's just him as a person that we don't like. Not Arsenal. It's Kai Havertz. He's a rat.
He is. But by the way, I'm not going 5-0. I'm going 2-1. I actually agree with Billy. I think it'll be 2-1. Or that's what I hope it'll be. I think it'll be a very close game. I don't think either team will destroy the other. I think it's going to be a very closely fought game. But there you have it. That is the review done and dusted. Now, tomorrow we've got 11 o'clock. We've got the press conference reaction. hopefully, again, we'll see some decent questions asked. Jordan, if you're watching, mate, get them in again. We love the questions from the Carabao Cup one, so please put them in again. What the fans want to know. And, of course, 7 o'clock tomorrow night is TTR Friday. We'll have a bit of a laugh and a bit of football chat. And, of course, we'll bring you guys on and you can have your say on how you felt about the Carabao Cup and, of course, the game against Arsenal. Matchday Live is Saturday lunchtime. It will start at 12 noon with a 12:30 kickoff. And then, of course, Sunday night will be the match review. So plenty coming up on the channel. So please do hit the like if you've enjoyed the show. And, of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel and you like what you see. But thank you for your super chats and memberships tonight. Thank you to the mods and thank you to Billy and Alex. But, of course, the main thanks goes to you guys out there for tuning in tonight and spending an hour or so with us previewing the game. But until tomorrow, we will see you later. Enjoy the rest of your Halloween. Hopefully no ghouls and ghosts come out the closet. And we'll see you tomorrow. Good night.
Right up the arse. No.
Come back and check out some green.